Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of this podcast. And you might be asking yourselves, what's going on here? Where am I? What is this podcast even about? And I'm going to be recording on my phone today, while also looking at some of the questions. And yeah, so to kind of get you started off, my name is Aaron Chisholm. I am a student here at Michigan State University, recently turned 20. And I want to start a podcast. About what, you may ask? Stay tuned to find out. Just kidding. I'll tell you. So the podcast name is actually Lifestyle Diaries. And I'll get into it a little bit later why that's important. And you're going to see me on my phone here a ton to get the questions up. But so I've been around the entrepreneurship community here at Michigan State. Being a college student, there's a bunch of other students. There's a bunch of other ideas floating around. There's just a lot going on. Even after this, I'm about to go to a basketball game, play some basketball, right? And there's always things going on. And I find myself doing a lot of different things. I've always wanted to start a podcast, though. I'm kind of grown into liking to talking with different people. I've always been curious. I've always loved asking questions. And what better to do to display that than to start some sort of podcast, right? So how this podcast was kind of conceived, or the whole idea behind it, is showcasing different perspectives, different ways of living life, different lifestyles, while also spreading positivity and just giving you a different sense on what other people are up to. What are people up to nowadays? This podcast is being filmed inside my apartment. As you see, we got the couch, got the pillows, got everything. And this is just the first introductory video, so it's mostly just going to be me for today. It is just going to be me. But in the future, I want to have more people on. So kind of getting back into it, what inspired me to start this podcast? I want to start a fitness business, actually, an online fitness coaching business. And I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of the incentive at first was kind of just to figure out what I can do to make some money. And this was through a lot of self-exploration. After starting different business ideas and not really being consistent with them, I decided to really search within myself and really ask myself, what do I really want to do long term? Not just trying to make a quick buck, not just chasing after money, but what am I actually here for? What is God calling me to do? And part of that, I think, is just starting this podcast. And now going back to the fitness business, how does this have to do with that? So I want to start an online fitness business, bridging the gap in education in the online fitness space. So there's a lot of information out there. It's what do you trust? How do you know what's going on? I want to teach people to create their own workouts and pretty much informing you and giving a structured place for all that information rather than just throwing it at you and saying, okay, go figure it out. So definitely heavy on the education and community portion of that. And a big part of that is lifestyle, right? What is your lifestyle? How do you live? What do you think about? What are your habits? And I find it so interesting how there's so many different people in the world. There's so many different people on this campus, and we all live drastically different lives. I myself, I feel like I live a different life pretty much almost every single day. I find very few days where I'm doing the same exact things. Now, yes, a lot of things repeat and there's a lot of habits, but there's always something interesting going on. There's always something to do. And I want to showcase that with different people, kind of called Lifestyle Diaries, digging into those secrets and those stories that sometimes don't get told, and I think they should be told. Lifestyle Diaries with Aaron and More. My name is Aaron Chisholm, as I said before, and More kind of rhymes. So it might be kind of corny, but I like that. And yeah, we're already 4 minutes in and it's crazy. I can just talk all day, but that's one thing I like because I think that's kind of the point of a podcast, right? To just talk and hopefully make it authentic and special, you know what I mean? Hopefully this relates to a couple people too. So yeah, what I was going to say as well is if you're young, just go out there and do something. I just turned 20, don't let anyone stop you from achieving your dreams. And for me, I don't know exactly where this podcast is going to go, but I actually don't think it's something I should do. I know it's something I should do. And I'm really excited to be kind of filming this first video here. Maybe I can do some behind the scenes one of these days and like a separate YouTube video kind of outlining my setup. But right now we're just in our apartment. And the last big thing I want to touch on before we get into more what the podcast about is focus on like authenticity. Like I did not script out what I'm talking right now. I did not. I have the questions written down, but I didn't really think about it too much beforehand. I don't really have a big setup yet. I want to invest in that in the future. I'm using my roommate's camera actually, and my GoPro, which I've had for a couple of years now, as like another camera source. But yeah, I'm really excited to like see this grow, and want to focus on authenticity, and really just like keeping it real with you guys. I don't want to do too much heavy editing either, so let's keep it real. Okay. So yeah, getting into the first question here, like what inspired me to make this podcast? I kind of already, excuse me, kind of already explained it, but kind of like I wanna kind of pair with my fitness business. And while we're diving into lifestyles here on this podcast, also focusing on health and fitness. So is it a part of your life? If it isn't, that's a talking point either way, right? And I want to kind of become an expert in that realm. I didn't say but this earlier, but I'm starting to become a certified fitness and nutrition coach actually. Costs a lot of money, by the way. Like, why did they make those so expensive? Um, but I invested in it, and yeah, I'm kind of going. So I've only finished like the first couple of chapters, but I need to be a little more diligent and consistent about that. But I'm really excited to share my progress like each and every podcast, each and every week, hopefully. I'll get into the structure of the podcast more later, but yeah, we're going to be trying it with our fitness business and hopefully helping you guys with your health and fitness as well, while also getting diverse perspectives on lifestyles.